Hi everyone, welcome back to art. This week we're going to start to brainstorm and sketch an idea for a poster. Our poster is going to show how our school is green or how our school could be more green. Now we're just doing the starting ideas for our poster this week. We're just sketching on a piece of paper. We're not having to color or cut or glue or anything like that yet. We're just planning and brainstorming with a sketch. So this poster I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a second, but this poster can be entered into a contest if you want to enter it in a contest. Now, we won't be finished with the poster this week. We're going to work on it together more next week. But when you are done with it next week or the week after, you can choose to enter it into a contest. I'll talk more about that contest in a minute, but I just want to let you know that you don't have to enter the contest. That's your choice. You still have to make the poster, though, because that's what we're doing for art. So for your poster design, it needs to either show how your school is green or how your school could be more green. Now, what does it mean for your school to be green? I don't mean that your school is actually painted green. Being green is another way of saying that your school helps the planet or the environment. So we need to think about what are some things that your school does that might help the planet or the environment around it. So it could be things like recycling. I know your school recycles, or maybe your school reuses something to make something else. So instead of more trash going into a landfill, your school might reuse something to turn it into something new. Maybe there's a garden at your school that helps by planting plants and maybe vegetables for your school. You might be able to think of other things your school does, like maybe a cleanup parade that helps to teach everyone in the community more about being green and recycling. Maybe there's a class at your school that talks a lot about the planet and helps students to learn more about what they can do. And if you're still having trouble thinking of something, maybe you can do some research and look online for ways that your school could be more green. Maybe you can find some things that would help that your school doesn't do now, but your school could do, because your poster can show things that you want your school to do to be more green. Here are some examples that I found online. Now, I do not want you to copy these examples. I need you to come up with your own ideas. So this first one right here, the student started by drawing a tree. So a tree is kind of like a nice symbol for nature or the environment. And then inside the tree, inside the leaves up here, they drew different ways that their school could be more green. Here is an artwork that shows students planting a garden, maybe with a teacher helping them here. Here is a student artwork that shows them recycling. So their school recycles, and I like how they have all these plants and flowers kind of blooming around the recycling bin to show that recycling kind of helps the earth and helps it grow in that way. Here's an idea. I bet your school doesn't already have this, but this could be an idea for how your school could be more green. So this artwork shows a school adding solar panels to the roof. That could help them to conserve energy. Here is a student artwork where she designed her own school garden. So I don't think her school has a garden yet, but this is her design of what the garden could look like if the school were to add a garden. Now, when we make our final poster, you can use recycled materials in your poster. The people who are doing the contest suggested that you do this to kind of help show that recycle and reusing theme in your artwork. So this one, they've created trees out of cardboard, some recycled green paper, and some bottle caps. These two used newspaper, which I think was a great idea. So if you're going to be cutting something out of paper anyways, why not make it newspaper to show that you're recycling and reusing something that you already had? This one kind of looks like a school made out of newspaper. Here's some other examples of recycled materials you could use in your artwork if you have them. Here is a picture of some students with their posters that they made last year. I'm going to put a copy of this PowerPoint down below. You can take the time to look at the posters more carefully if you want to, but I think these students all did a great job of really filling their whole paper with their design so that their whole paper was the artwork. Now, if you do want to enter the contest, that will be probably next week when we work on the poster some more. But here's a little bit of more information for the contest. You will be needing to download the permission slip to sign and have a parent or adult sign. You'll need to email a picture of your poster and the permission slip to this email right here, greenschoolart@gmail.com. Your poster should not be any larger than 12 inches by 18 inches. They do not want your name on the front of your artwork or any other personal information. They will not be able to choose you as the winner of the contest if your name is on the front. They don't want you to use glitter, and they don't want you to copy something that's already been made. So we'll talk more about this contest and more a little bit next week. But this week, what I want you to do is draw your design for your poster on your paper. So I've got my design here. I just used a piece of notebook paper. I think for my design, I want to have a school that has solar panels. I put a flag outside just to help show that it was a school, because usually schools have a flag outside. I put a welcome sign and I put a recycling symbol on there. I have a girl bringing a recycling bin back into the school. I have 2 students here helping to plant in the garden. And I think what I also want to do that I forgot to include, I think I want to make my school out of newspaper. I think I want to make my flagpole out of a straw, and I think I want to include maybe some other recycled materials in my artwork. So what I did now was I just labeled the materials I wanted to use, so that next week when we work on this together on Zoom, I'll bring those materials so that I can get started. Okay, so this week you're drawing your design as a sketch or a plan. You can label things that you want to use, like I put newspaper and straw on here. And then next week we're going to meet on Zoom, and I want you to bring your sketch. We're going to share our sketches together and kind of help each other to start our poster designs. All right, I can't wait to see your design, and I'll see you next week on Zoom.